Okay, I know which camera is which. I got a new I didn't get a new camera. I stole a camera from my husband because it fits on a camera tripod and I don't have to use a jar of protein powder to prop it up. So I'm trying to improve things. But I still have the other cam, so I just pointed at the stove. Anyway, hello. Happy Monday, I suppose. Welcome to It's Good Enough to Eat. I am Quake, your meowscular chef. I'm trying to work the puns in too, get a better, more snappy intro. It's getting there. It only works for the cooking stream. But anyway, happy Monday. This Thursday is one of the Thursdays we're taking my mom to see a musical, so I actually did what I said I was going to do and got on a Monday. I did get fruit from the farmer's market. I got cherries, and I got a bunch of lovely peaches. They're a little small, but they're quite tasty. And they should be small, so they will get nice slices for the strudels. I should really just call that a double bicep, so I don't have to, be creative or do anything. Hello, Tink Fox. Welcome in. CL did redeem AM. Right, but I won't be the meowscular chef. Which was what I'm trying to... I don't know what to say, how to work that in if I'm not doing a cooking stream. Anyway, I'm doing fine. It's Monday, but work is done, and we're cooking. I had a request from Mr. Lucky Teo to do some strudel, mostly because I sassed him for always he was like, peach pie, peach tarts. I'm like, you have redeemed tarts of various types so many times. I'm like, something different. So strudel, I convinced him to switch it up just a tiny little bit. But then my husband was like, I love cherries, I love turnovers, make me cherry turnovers. So I'm going to do some of those too, because why not? I was making puff pastry anyway. And then I had a bunch of ingredients. I bought rutabagas. Or turnips? Both? No, one's a beet. I have a beet and a turnip. I bought vegetables with the intention of making Cornish pasties. But then I also had bought spring roll wrappers that I was going to make into fried things just sitting around. And I saw someone do a kind of a meat pie in fried rice wrappers. So I figured I'd try it. I'm going to fully cook the filling ahead of time and then put it in the rice wrappers and then fry it. So fingers crossed that it's going to work out, I hope, maybe. But we usually muddle through and make something good enough. And hopefully it'll look nice too. But let's get to it. Third camera now. Camera for my face. Camera for the stove. And camera for the I really need to work on an overlay next. But I'm trying not to put too much work into Streamlabs if I'm gonna kind of an upgrade. It's still messy. I'm trying not to put too much work into it in case I do switch over to OBS. Although I was trying to make something with OBS and maybe my computer's a little bit slow to really handle it without crashing. So we'll try. We're getting there one step at a time. But yeah. And the real challenge was figuring out where to put the tripod to get the right angle over here. But I figure I thought I was going to start with the strudel, because I do need to cook the peaches a little bit. I didn't quite plan this out. Maybe we'll get another pan. Well, no, because I don't want to... So the recipe I was looking at was for apple strudel. But peaches are softer than apples and don't really need to be cooked ahead of time, so I think I was going to just try them raw. And of course, this is really convenient because right off cam is my little compost bucket and you can't see it. It's great. Oh my goodness. Oh, that was Seal. I saw someone reading the recipe and I thought it was CZ. But CZ just came in to look at my vegetables. Yeah! So I am excited to, I also just had a bunch of vegetables that I needed to use up because one of the potatoes started going bad. So I'm going to cut up this many peaches for now. And I think I'm going to put them in a bowl with a little bit of sugar to macerate. To get a little sauce. Something with homemade pasta, but you haven't decided yet. Okay. 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 I have been wanting to do homemade pasta for a while. Because the last time I did it was not the most successful. So I would like the opportunity of redemption. Something with homemade pasta. Okay. Do you want suggestions or do you want something that's seasonal? Because corn is gonna be in season pretty soon here. Of course, tomatoes because it's the summer. And how are you doing, CZ? Welcome in. CZ is another streamer / garden enthusiast. Maybe crushed? Oh my goodness. Because I'm using cherries today. I read that briefly as crushed cherry and tomato sauce before quickly realizing that that would be terrible and it must just be cherry tomatoes. Which I have over here. Okay, so like a fresh sauce, not like a super saucy, kind of like cherry tomatoes blistered in olive oil, rather than like a pureed tomato sauce. Something to that effect. Ooh, this pit was pokey. I can't throw the pits in my composter because they're too hard. But starting this week, we do have new regulations for food waste. And we're not supposed to throw food waste in the garbage. Something fresh and light. Okay. Say like a primavera kinda. And that would go well with fresh corn. I don't know, we'll see what else is at the oh, they've been really good English peas at the market. Those tend to be really good this time of year. You have a green bin? Yeah, we got the little pamphlet in the mail. And it was like, so you can just get a little like bowl and put it next to your trash. So you have some place to put your stuff. Although when I was in an apartment, I never had a green waste like at all. Do you have a green waste? Mexican pasta. Elotes. I do love elotes. See, I've never thought about putting like cotija or Oaxaca cheese in pasta. It's kind of more of a melty. I don't know. Try it. I don't know if those spices necessarily would lend themselves well to like a fresh cherry tomato sauce. Could. I mean, I have a dish that I've called Mexican lasagna before, but it's just layered tacos, really. Oh, I love that's on the side. Oh, and you're trying to get a whole meal. My goodness. Although I do know how to make churros. I have made those several times. Although, Oh, and I have a star tip for my piping bag, so that's even convenient. Although I might try them in the air fryer, which means I would pipe them out ahead of time and freeze them. Okay. Now these are really fresh and sweet, so I don't want to put too much sugar on them because I don't want to overload the sweetness. But I do want to put a little bit of sugar and a tiny bit of salt in this just to help start drawing the liquids out and get it naturally softer. So I'll just put a little sprinkle of sugar, a couple tablespoons. And you know what? I'm going to put some cornstarch in there just to help it. That'll absorb in with the juices and help it thicken up. It's kind of like you're making apple pie or any sort of fruit pie. But especially since we don't have like an enclosed shell, we want to make sure the juices don't run too much. I'm going to do a little salt. Not to make it salty, but just to draw out flavor. You know what? I think I have lemon juice in the fridge. I'm going to use lemon juice. Again, just for a little contrast to enhance the flavor. Not trying to get like a lot of lemon in here. Again, just a couple tablespoons to help things get going. And I've got some vanilla powder, because it seems like a good use for it. Then I'll just mix that with my hands. Oh, cinnamon. I was going to put some cinnamon in here too. Oh, I'm not worried about it, CL. I said it in the Discord, I think, but it's just a place. Oh, since I'm remembering now, go ahead and shoot me a message or put it in the there is a channel for it in the Discord to remind me so I don't forget. I'm happy to make any recipe that people suggest, and the redeem is more of like a priority thing. It pops it up to the next place in the list. Because honestly, I want input, so I don't have to think as hard. Okay, so that's just gonna sit and get juicy. That'll be my filling. Alright, I'm gonna melt some. I've just got my mom, love her to death, but she's like, oh, I found these hot cocoa bombs and they were on sale for $2, down from like $2 for a pack of 9, down from like $5 or $6. So she bought them, but now I have to like have them, and I'm just not using them. So I figured I'd just melt them in some milk, and maybe try to make that into a cake or something. So we'll see. I'm just gonna let these sit back here and melt to get out of my life. Get out of my fridge. Plus I've got some milk that's a little past its prime, which is essentially buttermilk. So if I bake it into a cake, then it's just gonna help the rise. So I'll just let that sit there. And honestly, the milk is probably fine. It's just my husband is a little bit particular. And he'll start saying something is off or expired or bad well before it actually is. Just because he's done with it. So I gotta find a way to use up some of these things. At some point, I'll come over and pit a bunch of cherries for me. At some point I'm gonna have to do that. and fall. And mostly now I'm just doing the vegetables to get them out of my way so I can do my final rollout of my pastry. So I'm going to have to do that at some point. But let me get my... I'm really just going to cook these all together. It's weird that this is playing on a video game playlist, but this is definitely like Avatar. I know, right? I don't want to leave the house for like the next week. Next week it's going to be like mid-80s. You can of course peel your turnip if you want. I'm just going to wash off the dirt because I'm going to cook it all down and you're not even going to notice the skin because I'm going to do like a traditional pasty and everything is going to be chunked up into little squares. And again, since I'm just doing a quick fry on the shells, I am going to cook the entire filling ahead of time before I fill my pasty dough, which is going to be just a rice wrapper. And that's only going to... I want to make sure my vegetables are all nice and soft and flavorful, since they aren't going to get any help in the oven to get roasted and caramelized and everything. So I'm going to get everything nice and evenly chopped up. I know, right? The husband and one of our friends went disc golfing today because they didn't go yesterday. But yeah, it's what? It's 102 out? Oh my goodness. I mean, we talk about streamers needing to stay hydrated, remembering to have a drink every once in a while because they're just sitting there talking and getting distracted. Actually, someone asked another streamer earlier today, it's like, why do you have a redemption for taking a sip of water? Because you get distracted in your task, playing video games or crafting or cooking or whatever, and you're talking and you get dehydrated and you start coughing and you're like, why is my throat so dry? Oh, because I haven't had a sip of water in the last hour. So anyway, I was much more concerned about my husband outside in the 100-degree heat, keeping himself hydrated. Probably have a couple more potatoes that I want here. We'll see. But of course, having extra filling isn't going to be the end of the world because, I mean, one, I could just make some pastry dough and put it all together. And two, I could just like have a breakfast hash, honestly. Just scramble a couple of eggs and throw the leftovers on it. Which is a great idea if anyone needs something to do with some leftover vegetable stuff that they've cooked up. Make yourself an omelet. Make yourself just a scramble because it's way easier than an omelet. We're going to spend some time with a friend in their cabin for the 4th. And so I'm going to let him do the omelet cooking. Because I am not skilled at cooking omelets. Mostly because I try to overfill them. And then I don't have enough egg, and then it like falls over on itself and it's all messy. So instead I'm going to get my act together to make some rolls for breakfast one day at least. Not cinnamon rolls because I have a a chocolate mix, again, that my mom, love her to death, was like, oh, I just threw it into the order when we ordered flour. Because we'll order flour from King Arthur. I did skin the beets because it's a rougher skin that's harder to clean than the turnip or the potatoes. So I did cut the skin off of that. Speak of the Teo, hi Teo. I was just saying that I have some King Arthur chocolate mix. That's okay. I need to zhuzh it up, but it's meant to go in like cinnamon rolls, or to go in a roll the same way you would make a cinnamon roll. It's just like a chocolate paste mixture. I think I'm gonna amp it up with some cardamom, I think, to make it kind of like an ocean roll. It was very silly. When I was here chopping onions with Fred the other day, I had done all the onion chopping, and then I put it in the pan and it started cooking, and then he started tearing up from the cooking, and I was just like, fine. Good timing, Teo, because I'm here making your strudel today. I've got my peaches already chopped up and macerating, and we'll get those in the oven once I get my vegetables on the stove to start getting nice and soft. I'm so on the fence about professional chefs and chopping onions. I see some chefs like chopping it through that way before they do it, but it's already so like, it's already made of layers, and at some point you're just losing efficacy for how many slices you're doing, how much time it takes, and that's the only time I've really like cut myself chopping onions is when I was trying to slice into it that sideways way. Or probably not the only time, but the worst times, the most often times. And yeah, I'm just gonna wash these carrots and leave the skins. You know what? I'll give them a little rough peel. I've got the peeler out. Why not? I think yeah, it's right here. It's right here in front of my face. Oh my goodness, y'all. And by y'all, I mean Teo and CL. Or are we just talking about how hot it is and you're over here trying to get me all sweaty? Right, and that sideways slice doesn't even really make it that much smaller. And honestly, if you want it that much smaller, don't do the sideways slice. Just do the two slices, the horizontal, the vertical, or rather the vertical, the 90-degree vertical, and then do another run through chop afterwards. I feel like that's safer and just as effective, if maybe like half a second slower. And for me, it's going to be faster because then if I don't cut myself, I don't have to worry about like going and washing up and getting a new onion and bandaging and getting gloves and all that nonsense. Okay. I think that's all of my chopping today. How that's why? Oh my goodness. Okay. Before I do my folds, and if these are good, CL, you can have some tomorrow. Although I don't know how many there are going to be. Although I'm sure Clay's going to have one and be like, this is weird, and not want anymore. And by weird, he's just going to not like the fact that it's in a rice shell instead of a pastry shell. Okay. Thank you. Carrots I love because it's one of the vegetables I feel is easiest to get kids to eat. Because they're naturally kind of sweet. And they're not an offensive color to children. Like, it's not green, and kids hate green things so often. And of course, season your vegetables, because it's just a mass of vegetables with no seasoning in it right now. Okay. Get that going. It's make sure my chocolate is melted so I can figure out what to do with it later. Probably melt some butter into it, because I know I need that in my cake. Okay. What do I need to do? 10, 10, and 10? Okay, perfect. Oh yeah. Crunchy carrots. There's your crunch SMR. ASM crunch? I don't know. Okay. Was that even on the camera? I guess it's on that camera. You can see the push-ups. Okay, I'm gonna grab my bow. Get these out of the way before I start pitting cherries. Oh no, I need to get my my turnover dough. My strudel dough ready. Crush. Should be crunch. Crunch. Oh. Okay. It's alright. Have 1 sec. Before I roll out my puff, I don't want to get any. Oop. Well. Lost my sponge there. I don't want to get any onion stuff in my peach strudel, because that would not be a good surprise flavor. Get my pad so we can roll out our puff. So I just did a couple of turns of this earlier today. Oh, yes. Thank you, CL. CL keeping me on top of things. Oh, photo. Where's... I don't know where my phone is. Where's my phone? CL, you want to call me? Because I don't know where my phone is. Somewhere. Oh, it's in the bathroom. I left it by the sink after I took a shower. Boop. Boop. That's not a fun photo. Okay. You never take your phone to the bathroom? You don't have your phone, like... I have my phone playing, podcasts while I'm in the shower. Thank you for the follow, Chris35678. Welcome into the Earth Kingdom. That's not in the toilet, it's just by the shower. Oh, I didn't actually change over to Stream Raiders. Oh, do I not have... Oh, you know what? You know why? Because my alert box is underneath my cameras from when I was setting up the new camera. Well, I ran Stream Raiders, but I didn't actually switch over to the scene. Oh well. It's done! Teo got some bonus scrolls! Okay. Okay. We're back. But again, thank you for the follow, Chris. Please let us know in the chat what sort of vendor you'd be in the Avatar universe so we can get you to the right dojo for training. All are welcome here in the Earth Kingdom, but we want to make sure you get quality bending training, no matter your discipline. So that's gonna fall. Okay. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna cut this in half. Put one half back in the fridge to use for turnovers later. And then I'll make this other half into some strudel shapes. I mean, Sigel, you've almost streamed. You've streamed with me here in the kitchen. Okay, how do I want to do this? I want to cut it in half again. And then roll it out long. I want to make a big rectangle. And it should be fairly thin. I'm going to try to make it just about big enough to fit on my quarter sheet tray, because I can fit my quarter sheet tray in my toaster oven, which means I don't have to turn on my big oven and get myself sweatier than I already am. Okay. Get some more bench flour. Get baked? Oh my goodness. I don't do that. Nothing against people doing it. I just don't like it. Wider. Get out there. There we go. Yes, I have my little silicone mat keeping my dough out of my grout. So if I had cooked these and they were really soft, you could just like kind of pile them up. But I kind of want to arrange them kind of nicely in a little row. And they're juicy, but not too juicy. It smells real nice if you like peaches and cinnamon. And of course, you can do this with whatever fruit you like. I've done this with apricot and blueberries before. Mostly that. You know, I'm going to do both because I'm going to want to dry my hands. You know what? I was being a little bit too particular with that first one. You just really want to leave edges on all sides, because I'm going to make strips out of the dough and fold it over in a little crisscross. And let's see if I can't just shove all of this in here. Okay. Again, I keep putting stuff on top of this cutting board like it's a stable perch. I did. There is cinnamon in here. These are peaches from the market that I just got. I'm just gonna make strips down the side. I want them fairly narrow. And I'm just using a pizza cutter for this because it's the easiest way that I know how. And we're all about easy and accessible here. Because of course, if you don't feel like making your own puff pastry, just buy a sheet, just buy a box from the store. And I wouldn't want to use a knife to do this because the knife would be more likely to go through and cut my mat, which has happened before to me. So be careful. That's why I like the pizza cutter. So I'm just wrapping the dough, alternating sides, over the top. So it makes a nice little pretty braided loaf kind of design. And then I had way more strips at the bottom. And you can just kind of mush it together at the bottom there. Turn my oven on. And this whole thing just comes right up over here. And we'll do the same thing over here. No, these are peaches today. But yeah, you can absolutely do this with apples. A real traditional way to do it is with apples and raisins, if you like raisins. I don't tend to have raisins in the house. I prefer cranberries, and of course apple cranberry or peach cranberry, whatever, would be lovely. But we had such lovely fresh fruit at the market that I'm sticking with what I had fresh. Okay. Now I'm gonna get an egg. One egg. Tiny bit of water. I'm just going to brush the top with egg. That'll help it get brown. Browner. More brown. Extra brown. And because it's dessert, I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle some sugar on top of these to give a little extra crunch on the top of the pastry. And of course, if you're serving them up fresh, I would omit the granulated sugar on top, and then serve them with a little dusting of powdered sugar at the end instead. But since these, I don't know when these are gonna get eaten, I'm gonna go for the extra little crunchy, crispy topping. And there's very little added sugar in this whole recipe. Oh sure, I can add a little extra cinnamon on top of one of them. Just for you, Sotos. Okay, and those can go in the oven once it's hot. Now I owe people a bunch more squats. Okay. I'm gonna check on my veg over here though. Give it a stir. Just a few. I only owe 30 squats. You know what? I can just turn this whole thing. Aha! Clever. Put my strudels in because my oven beeped. Set a 10-minute timer to swap them. Just throw a stick of butter in here. I'm gonna turn this into just another sheet cake, I think. But I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. We'll see. Okay. I'm gonna use this again later, so I don't want to wash it yet, because I still gotta roll out stuff for turnovers. Okay. And generally a pasty is an entire meal, so I'm going to throw a packet of ground beef into it. And of course this will need plenty of seasoning too. So right now I just have a little bit of salt in here. It's not really flavorful. I'm not sure exactly how much of a gravy I want to go with. Generally a pasty is kind of self-saucing, which just means that it cooks in its own gravy inside. So So when you cut it into it, it's steamy and moist. You know what? I'm going to take some help from Mr. Hill and just use my Smoky Hill seasoning here. Should be pretty good. I'm already departing pretty heavily from Cornwall, which is the traditional pasty. So I'm not really concerned about authenticity today. Two, I didn't have any rutabagas, and I needed rutabaga to make it authentic. Quote authentic. Okay. So let that go. And I think I need to do what I just did with the peaches, but with cherries. I think I need a little. You know what? I'm just gonna get I have a paper towel that I used earlier. Just gonna do my little trash area. Because the stems I can put in my composter, the pits I cannot. Let's see. We'll see if this is enough. I kind of just like to tear my cherries apart. Let's get the trash over there. There we go. Get my fingers nice and dirty. It's not what I meant by Crime Seed Kitchen. Which is actually a pretty decent show. You know what, I could also just cheat and mix this with some of the cherry jam that I made the other day. Because that's pretty much just going to be the same stuff. But it's already nice and flavorful. Of course, whatever pitting method you choose, do go back and verify that you don't have any pits in your cherries, because that is about the worst thing you can serve to a guest, is a cherry dessert with a pit in it, because they are not forgiving. You bite down on one of those, you got a dental bill on your hands. Oh, whoa, Teo. Teo, whoa. Yeah, that could be a good, that could be a good sound redeem. Also, wear red when you're pitting cherries like this. Teo. No, mine was better. So the danger part of putting egg wash and sugar on your puff in the oven is it can look done before it's done. Make sure you give it the full amount of time because you don't want undercooked pastry. Just because the egg wash makes it look brown and done sooner than it might actually be. So yeah, there's plenty of chores over here that you could have been doing. I did! Over to do my chores? I think I mentioned it in passing earlier on the stream. Or maybe it was just CL in here at that point. Okay. There's my cherries. Ooh. They're on the tart side. Might give it a little extra sugar. And no juice. You saw that, did you, Evan? Yes. So I'm making what is close to a traditional Cornish pasty filling, but because I was already making puff pastry and didn't feel like making a second type of pastry, but I did have spring roll wrappers, I'm gonna fry my my dough, or fry my wrap my pasty filling in spring roll dough. And fry it. Okay, let's try not to get my... Now I'm gonna deep fry it. So I make crispy spring rolls. But I am completely cooking, the filling is all cooking on the stove right now, so it'll be completely cooked before I fry the shells. Because yeah, it would not be frying long enough to actually cook the interior otherwise. And this is just a quick filling for some cherry turnovers. And we have our peach strudels in the fridge, or in the oven already. Oh, if you're there, CL still, can you give Evan a shout out, please? Evan is another gamer slash baker, and we are going to be doing a co-stream in a couple weeks to make an opera cake. It was just on our Twitter. I still got to figure out how to, like, make my Twitch work with theirs, and I'm not sure. I've just never done that before, and get myself a nicer layout and everything. I have stuff to do, but I have a couple weeks, so I should be able to get there. Yeah, I was facing away from the microphone. I was just saying I need to do a few like technical things to make sure that we can integrate streams together and get myself a nicer like background setup. So it's not just some cameras pasted over a black background. And I was yelling at my mod to throw a shout out to you, but I guess I'm standing here, so. There we go. Ah. This was on enough to melt my butter. I've also just got some melted hot cocoa bombs in some buttermilk that I'm gonna like make into a cake or something. I don't know exactly what. I'm just kind of making this one up as I go along. It's gonna be pretty similar to the chocolate cheesecake recipe that I usually use, except milk instead of. You know, that recipe does have buttermilk in it. Never mind. Yeah, I'm right along the right track. I'll figure it out. Okay. What am I doing? I should soak my wrappers because they think these need to soak before you use them. Yes. Oh, there's a little pull tab. Luckily, I think these bowls are just about the right size. A little small. Maybe I'll get a plate out instead. Or just run it through that way. Yeah, the plate's gonna work better. Darn you, bowl, you're just slightly too small. Oh, those do get nice and pliable real fast. Can't even see it in there. It's invisible. Okay. I should taste my mixture and check my vegetables to make sure they are soft. Because once I put them in a wrapper, it's going to be a little too late. Need some spice. Got a good salt. Put some pepper in here. Okay. And some cayenne. Everyone needs a little spice. But I can turn that off because I don't want to put really hot mixture into my spring roll wrappers. I don't think. One, it would just be hard to work with, and two, I think it would compromise the integrity of the wrappers. I wonder if it would be easier just to like run it under the sink to soften the wrapper. I don't know. We'll see. I'm also going to double wrap them. Because, let's see. How do I want to do this? I'm going to put that in a container. Which is a bonus, because then it'll be ready to go right in the fridge when I'm done. Because I'm pretty sure this is going to be way too much to fill as many wrappers as I have. Because by the time you get like a couple of each vegetable in here, I mean, it's already a huge amount of food. Which is alright, because this will be breakfast tomorrow, and the next day, and an afternoon snack. You know what? I turned down my microphone the other day because it was... I need to remember to turn up my microphone input for cooking because I'm not standing right next to it. I turned it down for playing video games the other day. Okay. There's my mixture. Ooh, yep, I don't let that in there too long. Okay, I want to get the next one ready because they did say to double wrap these. And I want them well filled but not overfilled. So we'll see what that looks like. And I'm just kind of making a square little parcel. Oh yeah, I see. Okay. So it does want to get to this kind of gooey consistency. I need another plate to put these on. Pre-frying. Okay. And then ooh, yeah. Oh no, yeah, that's why I didn't want it to be too hot. Ideally, I want that flipped upside down, but it's alright. It's alright. Maybe. Maybe. I've never worked with spring roll wrappers before, so it's an experiment. Let's see if that's a better texture. I want them foldable, but not liable to tear. Gotta get this next one in. It does kind of stick to itself pretty nicely. Oh, and I see it. And this water didn't cool down really fast. I think it would help me to get a new bowl of warm water. also maybe a spatula. To flip this. As I, again, do my traditional use every utensil in the house whenever I'm cooking. So that's what I need Teo here for, just to run my fights. I thought you were doing chores. Okay, there's my little parcel. You had a system? Vacuum until the bag is full and then come back and drop units. Then do it all over again. Okay, I'm gonna refresh my water to be warmer. I see where a friend would be really helpful right now. A kitchen assistant, a sous chef, because they could be getting my next wrapper ready. Oh, and that's important too, because I see that it continues to absorb the water and get softer. So if you leave it in there too long, that's when it starts getting rippy. Next one. Oh, I should do the first one farther to the side so I have room for the flip. All your stuff. Oh, you did your mise en place. Quick, Teo, spell mise en place without looking it up. They kind of just look like little hamburgers right now. I think this one might not have been soaked long enough. Mise en place. Not quite. Not quite. Do you know what mise en place means, Teo? I'll give you a hint. It's a phrase. It's not a word. And it's actually one of those French phrases that is easier to spell than most French phrases. Okay. New battle is down. These actually take a pretty good amount of filling. Because one of these, in like a little side salad or vegetable or something, would be a pretty filling meal. Even without the pastry dough. Okay. This one should go a little longer because the last one was a little still crunchy when I took it out. Crunchy, crackly. tell me? It doesn't tell me. It just gives me a weight. I'm just gonna go for 6. Oh no, I really want to finish the bag, because I don't know what else I would do with like a bag of 2 or 3 extra spring roll wrappers. I want to make like proper spring rolls. Just because I never have before. Teo, you could be cooking along. Also, no one tell Robo what I'm doing. Cook another couple minutes. I'll let you cook on the top. Just for brown. Oop. Just checking the strudel, just needs a couple more minutes. Oh, hi, Cozy. Welcome in. How you doing? Next game night? Depends. What's your schedule like? I feel like my schedule never changes. Seldom changes. Also, please don't judge what I'm doing to these spring roll wrappers. Oh no, I'm futzing with it too much. No! Okay, okay. We're fine. We're fine. Oh, I might have overfilled this one. Hi, Bosa. I see you lurking. Mostly because you put in a lurky emote. Bosa, have you fed yourself today? Do a exclamation point menu to see what we're cooking today. No. No. No, I was a little under. Oh well, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Am I gonna have one? Oh no, there's an even number. Okay. Is this 2? Yeah, that is 2. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Okay, we're good. All I need to refresh my warm water. Yeah, we've got our cherry mixture over there macerating. I've just got to roll out the puff pastry that I made earlier so I can get those in the oven. But right now I am filling my strange take, my unorthodox take on Cornish pasties. Yeah, perfect. Do you get good produce where you are, Bosa? I had to make sure to buy a whole bunch of cherries because it was the last weekend that they were going to be at the farmer's market. Oh, what did I do? Oh no, this one's tearing. Why are you tearing? Okay. So make sure your turnover or your make sure your parcels aren't touching each other over there on the plate, because they will stick to each other a little bit. Hit and miss. Innovative, not unorthodox. Mostly lazy, because I had spring roll wrappers laying around and I didn't feel like making a second pastry dough. I made my puff pastry, but I didn't feel like making a hand pie dough also today. Oh, I thought I was going to have a ton of extra filling, but I just have a little bit. Okay. Well, we still got to get through the frying part of this, because that's another step I've never done before. Ooh, we do love a hash brown casserole. I also just love hash browns. I made hash browns last week on the Thursday stream. I was gonna say this could be like my chopped basket, kinda like, you know how they half the time just throw something in a spring roll wrapper to fry it, but this took way too long to consider doing like in a 30-minute competition. Although, of course, if I were on that competition, at this point there would be a thing of oil ready for me to go, just drop them in. On good timing, here is my strudel, nice and steamy and hot. Whew. Let that cool down. Okay, I'll put this away. Take a taste. Not that I didn't taste it already. Not enough hunger now. And of course, don't waste your last little bit of filling, because this will just go great over some eggs tomorrow morning. Okay. Gotta find a place to put it. myself a beverage. Because cooking is thirsty work. Okay. Okay. Done with most of those things. Hi, Arcade. Welcome in. It's hard to open cans when your fingies are wet. How's our favorite arcade cabinet doing today? Okay. Okay. I think I can get my turnovers in the oven. Honestly, I should do that now before my toaster oven cools down too much. I'm gonna move these. Close that up. Now I'll get out the rest of my pastry dough. Some more bench flour, of course. Okay. Now I'm just going to roll this out into a square, or as square as I can get it, without too much effort, because I is lazy. Favorite toys or series from growing up? I think so. My two favorite cartoons when I was growing up were the old '90s X-Men and the Ninja Turtles. And I did have a few toys of both. Like I remember having a little wind-up. I think it was Donatello, because Donatello's always been my favorite. He would wind up and you kick his legs so he could swim. And then I had a, was it Silver Samurai, I think was an X-Men villain of some sort. I don't remember much about him from the show, but I do remember he was in the arcade game, Children of the Atom. I think Children of Atom. Because I remember he had a big, like, shuriken throw style move. I'm trying to remember. I think I had a Cyclops also. I also liked Beast Wars, but I was the type of person when they watched Beast Wars that I just, like, my favorite episodes were just always the ones where they found the new ones. I'm like, ooh, which new animal is it going to be today? So I got my pizza cutter back out. I'm going to try to cut this into 9 even-ish squares. There we go. Close enough? And so I've got a lot of juice in my cherries now. So I'm just going to drain off into a little bowl, because that's going to make some real good cocktails. I didn't put any cornstarch in this, so it's perfectly good to just drink straight up, to put in whatever, because it's just cherry juice and water, and cherry juice and sugar, and a little salt. Definitely save that. I can just put that in the drink that I'm drinking right now, honestly. And just put a little spoonful of cherry in. Try not to overfill. And just make a little parcel. And give it a pinch. I should drain that even more because it is getting on my pastry and making it too soggy to pinch together. Ah, oh no. Also because I just overfilled it. But that's fine. It's just gonna pop open in the oven. It's fine. It's fine. I also need a cookie sheet. I need one of these, is what I need. So I'm just going to put this right on this, and then I can transfer it. You know what? That's going to be too big. It's going to be too big to get on one tray, so I'm just going to do this in the regular oven. Also, because if I start trying to put puff pastry on that sheet, it's going to start melting it immediately. Okay. Maybe I can crimp you with a fork. You can be pretty aggressive. You kind of have to be. That was the first and smallest one, so it's going to be the least pretty. It's kind of like the first pancake. Let's just go ahead and squeeze out more juice, because there was way too much. Pies. I mean, yes, don't get dressed if you can at all avoid it. Okay. Yeah. Those cherries were way too juicy. They were gonna give me so many problems. Overboard. I could also actually probably just roll out each of these squares a little bit more, and that would probably help me. But if you look at a recipe, they often say, like, put a tablespoon of filling, and I always feel like that seems like no filling at all. But it's really all that fits. Dry my hands again. First and smallest of your siblings. The runt. It is, yes, this is puff pastry that I made, but it was getting too wet. So I need, where did my fork go? Where's my fork? I'm trying not to overfill it. I am notorious for trying to get too much filling into these things. So I'm just going to crimp it with my, well, I'm going to try to crimp it with my fork. And then kind of fold it over and re-crimp it. Because even after getting all that juice out, it's still too juicy. Honestly, I should let those cherries like drain for a while before trying to use them. Or I can say, screw it, just turn them on their butts and let them sit on their seams. Hi, Ombre. Ombre the potato. Welcome in. I hope you're having a lovely Monday. You're just in time to see me struggle with closing up my my puff pastry parcels. You know what, maybe I could just lean into it and not try to close them all the way. They could be open turnovers, right? Let's try. Let's try. But that's not gonna work. I can already see that's gonna it's gonna explode on me. You know what? Let's try this now. Switching tactics. Just make it bigger. Oh my goodness. It's so much easier. Still gonna crimp it with my fork and then roll it over and re-crimp. And of course, the warmer your dough gets, the harder it's gonna be to work with. Are you having second thoughts yet, Evan? As you watch me struggle with this most basic of pastries. Maybe I'll just do that little pinch method to try to get it to seal. We're gonna have several different varieties. See which one works out the best. If I were ever to be on the Bake Off, I would have to do that, a whole bunch of tests, to make sure that whatever made it to the show was actually going to work. And if I just roll it out thinner, then I have more space for filling. And of course, the Bake Off tent is known for being notoriously hot, which of course makes puff pastry extra tricky to deal with. Let's bring this back over. Yes. In the future, do a full drain of the cherries. Because that would make my life much easier. Although it might be because, you know what? My other problem with this dough not wanting to be cooperative is that we were out of all-purpose flour. So this is bread flour, which is what you would use if you were making croissants. But for this application, the dough is just a little bit sturdier. It was much harder to roll out because just extra flour protein, extra gluten-y. What possibly could you have made out of this moist, gooey cherry talk? There's certainly not a double entendre to be found here. Okay. I'm going to stick this back in the fridge, the whole tray, while my oven finishes heating, so that my dough can chill, so I don't just leak butter everywhere. If I can fit it. I'm trying not to leak my butter, CZ. I got flour on my feet because I'm spritzing it everywhere. Hello, questions. Welcome in. I am just about to try frying up my Cornish, my quote, very much air quotes, Cornish Springrolls. I saw a video of someone doing fried spring rolls, but I had the ingredients for Cornish pasties, so I am trying this and hoping it works. Because if it doesn't work, then it's going to be just a whole big mess of food, which will taste real good. It just won't be convenient or easy to eat. Okay. We're all right. We're all right. Yes. So a traditional Cornish pasty is usually beef or lamb, and then potato, rutabaga, turnip, carrot, onion, and some spices, in like a pie pastry. And you put some butter in to like melt in while it's cooking to keep everything nice and make a little gravy kind of thing inside the pastry. It's also a sturdier pastry, much easier to work with than the puff that I was just using. But since I made the puff pastry for, so I can show you now. Ooh, there we go. Haha. This way. There they are. Those are my peach strudels. They smell real nice. Want to eat them right now. But I'm trying to make myself have dinner first. I need to get another tray. Now let's just use one of these. Pull this off. Okay. So we're gonna try to fry things now. And hopefully they turn out okay. But yes, I have actually been to I don't know if I was in Cornwall. We had Cornish pasties in Oxford when we were there. Gosh, like I think 8 or 9 years ago now. It's been a long time. Haven't had a vacation in a long time. Almost like there was like some global reason not to do a bunch of traveling. Okay. Can I do 3 at a time? Because that would make my life so much nicer. Okay. I can also put my turnovers in. Oh. I was going to egg wash these too. Because I have leftover egg wash from the strudel. Oh no, that one's coming apart. Why must you do this to me? Hope crimping you works. I know, right? What's vacation? The last trip we took was... it would have been for my 33rd birthday, so coming up on 5 years. Yes. I was sprinkling sugar. I missed my chance to bam the sugar onto the turnovers. But I guess that counts as kicking it up a notch, right? I didn't put 40 cloves of garlic in. Although every time he said that, it was still this little thing of like crushed garlic. And who knows how many cloves it was. It might have been 40. I don't know. It never seemed like it was. Felt like it was more of the idea of 40 cloves rather than actuality. I don't know how long to cook these either. Oh, but I have my spatula, which I don't want to put in there wet. Oh yeah, for sure. Unless it's raw garlic. So one thing I learned about making pesto is it's much better to I should turn up my microphone. It's way better to put in to cook your garlic ahead of time. I like roasting it ahead of time, or you just have to process the heck out of it. So it kind of cooks in the food processor. Where's my... There we go. I used to have so many cooking gloves, and now I can't find any. Oh no. Okay. Well, I must have moved it too early because it's sticking. Is this the first one? Right? It's the first one. We're fine. We're fine. We'll get there. Oh yeah, that one worked a lot better. Well, we're only going to show you the one that turns out looking nice. I am not. So it's interesting. We listen to Milk Street Radio, which is a podcast, and one of the regular contributors is Sarah Moulton, and her show on PBS, she would always talk about asbestos fingers because she just probably burned the nerves off the tips of her fingers a little bit to where she could handle hot stuff without it really bothering her, as long as it wasn't for too long. Which I guess is a good skill, but, I mean, don't try to burn the nerves off your fingers. Oh gosh. This looks really burned on the camera. It looks so nice from this angle, but... Majin, hello! Monday night Quake streams. Well, I usually stream on Mondays, but... like video games, but today I'm cooking because Thursday is every other Thursday in the summer we take my mom to see a musical because that's the season of them. Hey, no, that's fine. Okay, we're good. No, keep going. Oh, you know what? I didn't do the chopstick test. Knuckles, welcome in. This week the musical is Carousel, which I've never seen, so I'm excited about that. But yeah, Knuckles, there's plenty of food. Come on down. I think my O is probably a little on the hot side. Always late. Oh, I need to turn the fans up. Whew. Always drop your things into hot oil away from you so you don't splash yourself with oil. And don't fry things shirtless. I've learned that lesson the hard way. Oh my goodness, so many lovelies in chat. Hi. Oh, it was Derby that said give food. And then Knuckles. Okay, you're just both green. Ah! Okay. But yes, you're also welcome to come down and get some food, Turbid. Welcome in. Oh my goodness. Y'all, make sure you follow Turbid and Knuckles and Arcade. All sweet beans. Except I guess Knuckles is the sweetest bean because he's on Team Sweet Beans. Kudadooski. Oh my goodness, welcome in. I'm gonna turn my oil temperature down so I don't burn anything while I'm welcoming you in. Hello, welcome, hi, thank you so much for the raid. Thank you for bringing your community over, trusting them with me in my kitchen. My name is Quake. I am the Meowscular chef. Um, as you might see my persona Quake down in the corner on my other screen, but here's my welcome. Yeah, thank you so much for crashing in. I really appreciate it. How was your stream? How was your day? What were you getting all up to? Oh, you're also doing food and drink. Awesome. What were you cooking tonight? I'm just back here frying up my Cornish Springrolls. Oh goodness, did you bring people by 2 socks? Oh my goodness. You're so cute and sweet. We love 2 socks. Oh my goodness. Here's my my strudels that I made today. I know I need to get that like on an apron or something. But there he is. There's Quake. There's the chef. Oh, okay. Well, however you found me, Kudaduski, I am very appreciative. Thank you for dropping in. I've got turnovers in the oven, pasties, quote, on the stove, frying, and my strudels over here. Fun interaction stream in the chat. Pick the ingredients. Oh my goodness! I have a redeem that I call the Chop Basket Challenge, and someone can tell me what 4 ingredients to make a meal out of, and I have to do it. It's not quite chopped because I have to prep for the stream, obviously. Oh, thank you, questions. Oh my goodness. I wish I had, like, TTV set up to say those things. Aha, I didn't try to flip it too early. And it didn't stick. Leave your fried foods until they are ready to flip, because then they won't stick on you, or not as badly at least. Oh yeah, no, they're all working fine now. It's just that first set. It's like the first batch of pancakes. Okay, great. I don't think I could get pasties on, because, I mean, hair. There's lots of hair. I'd have to do some shaving, probably. I don't know. "20 ingredients, 3 courses? My goodness, that is impressive. You sound like a more accomplished chef than I. I tend to downplay my talents. But I'm decent. And thank you for the follow too. Welcome in. I'm gonna have to go check out your VOD and see what you produced today. Kuda-deuce. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna go check that out later. Once we finish up here. 3 courses. How many people are you feeding with those 3 courses? Is it just yourself? My husband is going to come home and be very hungry and want to dig into strudel, and I'm going to have to make him eat, like, food first. Which is almost there. I also probably just had my oil too hot in the first place, which is never useful for frying. Oh, perfect, yeah. So, my cooking mantra is it's good enough to eat, in parentheses, because usually things turn out pretty tasty, even if they don't look the greatest. So, as long as it's good enough, and it tastes good, and you're making your friends and family happy, oh yeah, perfect. One of my mods usually stops by on Tuesdays for game night, so hopefully we'll have some extra turnovers left. Hopefully we don't plow through 9 turnovers and 2 strudels before tomorrow. Majin, if you're gonna do that, make sure you wear an apron. Because, I mean, wearing just an apron in the kitchen is pretty sexy too. Possibly sexier than naked cooking, because then just food for thought. Because you don't want burned bits. Oh yeah, no, just when I'm not on stream, yeah, in the kitchen, it's usually booty shorts and an apron. I'm a little bit more demure when people are watching. I got my last two in here. I have been cooking for, yes, most of my life. I think I started being interested in baking when, yes, my Instagram should be linked on the page, and I also upload the VODs to YouTube. But yes, I became interested in baking mostly because I wanted to eat cookies all the time when I was young, and so I think I started baking at probably 7 or 8, so almost 30 years. And then I started cooking with my mom, like for occasions, helping out with like Thanksgiving dinner and all those things. Probably not too long after that, but then since going to college, I've been pretty much cooking for myself, and of course, I'm pretty sure that I caught my husband by cooking for him every week before game night. And that was 14 years ago that started. So yeah, I've always liked cooking. It's kind of cathartic for me. I just like to zen out and be in the kitchen. Back when I had roommates, I would get a little bit upset at, I don't want to say upset, but I would watch them like chopping onions, and I had a roommate that had very sensitive eyes, and he was a chem major, and he would go get like his chem lab goggles and put them on and try to chop onions so the fumes wouldn't get in his eyes, but then he couldn't see very well, and it took him so long to chop onions, and I'm like, no, please let me help you, please let me just come chop your onions. It was cute, it was adorable. I hope he's learned how to chop onions since then. I haven't seen him since college. So, again, probably 17 or 18 years. Yeah. Oh, awesome. Yes, definitely divide the kitchen duties. My husband is the one that bakes the bread, and he also usually runs the grill. So I'll get all the meat and stuff prepared, the meat and veg and everything that we're going to put on the grill ready in the kitchen, and then he'll go take care of cooking it all, so I don't have to worry about it. Oh yeah, and I didn't use any recipes today. I just kind of threw stuff together until I thought it was right. I have a pretty much go-to puff pastry recipe that I use, which is just it's 5 to 2 to 2 cups of flour to water to butter, plus some salt, and that usually works really well for me. Oh yeah, there we go. Let's see if we can hear that. I think they always do in cooking videos when you can hear the crispy. Can you hear that? Oh, hi. Mazcanyanota? Mazcanyanot. Hey. Please let me know if I can shorten that or if I can pronounce it better. I would like to say it correctly. But welcome in. Can also be Cood's wife. Anything that you prefer. Welcome in. Thank you for following. Thank you for popping in. Maz, perfect. Thank you. I was going to make sure I let people know, feel comfortable that I'm going to call them the right thing. I will endeavor to remember. And welcome in. I hear you are quite the baker. But yeah, I'm just sitting here scraping my my pasty. This is my Cornish spring roll. So it's my Cornish pasty ingredients inside spring roll wrappers that I then fried. And these are the strudels that I made on stream today, and I've got some turnovers in the oven too. Yeah. Oh, and for Coods and Maz as new followers, and for that Theater Tech, welcome in. Thank you for the follow. Please let me know what sort of bender you would be in the Avatar universe. My Persona Quake here is an earthbender. Not the most useful for the kitchen, but I think I think it would be very useful for making like a pizza oven outside. I would love to have an outdoor pizza oven. And if I could earthbend, that's probably the first thing I would do. But these last two are finishing up. Let me cut into this. See if I can get you a good view of the inside. There's my... Woo! Still steaming. It's very hot. Hi, Zarek. Welcome in. Thank you. I'm excited to eat. I'm going to eat one of these before they cool down too much. Yeah, I'm going to let it cool down for a minute. Oh, yes. I was watching someone make fresh naan on a video earlier today, and it looks so good. We do have a local Indian restaurant that has fresh naan all the time. So good. It's like one of the few places we go for lunch when we're downtown. And we try to be downtown not very often. Well, let's see. I'm gonna pull. I think these are ready. Yeah, these are ready. I'm gonna pull these, turn off my stove so I don't get any more smoke. I have definitely set off the smoke alarm before. That's one of the worst things is setting off the smoke alarm during the stream. That's never fun. Oh my goodness. Okay. I still want to leave this on because I'm gonna... Yeah. I think that might just wrap it up for today. Let's find someone to raid, though. Who is on? Oh, we could raid Murky. They're playing Fire Emblem. It's one of my favorite games. Let's see if they've been on, how long they've been on. Or you can raid Danny. Danny stopped by earlier. Let's see. Murky's been on for an hour. Danny has been on. $4 hours. Okay, let's raid Murky, because I don't know how long Danny's going to be going. / raid Murky Towels. Perfect. There's some raid messages for followers and subscribers. But yeah, thank y'all so much for hanging out on this special Monday cooking stream. I'm gonna eat my turnover. It's so crispy. I'm going to put it over a plate so I don't spill any more food on the ground. I feel like I could have put some Worcestershire sauce in there or something. But otherwise, it is delicious. I'm excited to get set down to eat. Teo, this is your strudel. You can come get it whenever you want. This was the strudel that Teo redeemed. I have some more redeems to do next week. But until then, I hope everyone has a fabulous night. I hope everyone makes some delicious pasties, whether or not you make traditional ones or you fry them in these wrappers, because this seems like it worked out pretty well. I'm very excited. Make yourself some strudel, whether it's fresh made puff pastry or store-bought puff pastry. Either way, whatever you do, take pictures, tag me, and because I'm sure it's going to be good enough to eat. I will see you next time. Have a great night. Appreciate you all, and thank you so much for the follows and the raid. I will check you out soon.